What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Skady. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Tektonas. Tektonas. We're calling him Tektonas. He's got some weird capitalization going on in his name. I don't know if that means anything or not, but it is a Zeus versus Odin matchup. We've seen this one quite a bit of late. And the real question is anything changing? Are people still playing it wrong? Those are all questions that need to be answered here on this day. We do have some crowned crane over here for Tektonas. He's looking for some hunt to find. He's found his lions. Only finding the initial 3 gazelle here can be pretty upsetting for a Zeus player. Generally speaking, if the Zeus player gets 900 food in their starting base, they're very happy. Anything less, and they're a little bit sad. As opposed to our we didn't great hunt this. As opposed to our Odin player who would normally great hunt this. I mean, sure, you're short a little bit of food, but you can send a pig over there. Oh, he's got all these zebras, so it's not a problem for him. Very, very nice. But normally you would just send, if you had a pig, you would send your pig over here and you'd great hunt this, get 600, 700 food out of that and have a very nice start in the game. No, that's not what we see here. Tektonas is going to be moving forward to his Aurochs or water buffalo, I should say, in the middle of the map. Now, the water buffalo, you look at the water buffalo, you look at the boar, you look at the rhino, you look at the hippo, all of these things, they're great food, but in actuality, at the start of the game, what you want is you want zebra, giraffe, gazelle at the start of the game, because the amount of time it actually takes to kill a water buffalo actually does end up mattering. 130 HP here does end up mattering because all those villagers aren't gathering as they should be. Because they're busy killing the hunt. So keep that in mind. If you do have an option here to kill the zebra first, I would kill the zebra first, wait for maybe a few more villagers to come in before we go onto the water buffalo. Just as a very, very small efficiency of things you want to choose to go for first. And we'll see how this is all going to go as the game is going to continue. As we've already got some people in the chat laughing. For some reason, I don't know what's going on. Everyone, I guess this is the current meme that's going. For those of you who are uninitiated, whatever the word, however you say it. For those of you who don't know what's going on in the world of Age of Mythology banter, people are calling Tektonas Rapple. Now, you can make up your own mind as to whether or not you think this is Rapple, because it could be some really crazy world where Rapple is role-playing as a vanilla player named Tektonas, who's actually a very strong vanilla player in his own right, and deciding to play some Zeus here while being by hiding, So an interesting theory here. Let us know in the old comment section on the YouTubes below if you think this is Rapple or not. And we can continue with the meme for very long, and it's going to be great. Anyways, as we continue, we've got the Skady temple in the middle. Skady role-playing a little bit like Soup here. Going to try and control the middle of the map. This normally is actually a big mistake here for the Norse player against a Zeus. If you go for a really hard Athena rush here, you can definitely push through this and you can cause a lot of problems for an Odin player on this map. So we'll see if that's what Tektonas is going to be doing. He's going for a very, very late classical age. So 5 minutes is incredibly late. The only real way to play this at this stage, going up this late, is to throw down 4 military buildings and try and catch up in terms of your production, and then maybe transition back into 3 production buildings after you've spent all those resources. So you do waste about 100 wood trying to be okay here, as we are seeing this villager attempting to make a break for it back to the home base, as the old Sarks are being very, very annoying. And the villager will immediately jump into here. Immediate forest fire onto this location as the villager is going to move up onto the top location here. So one thing you do definitely want to do with these villagers while building this storehouse as a very, very big efficiency actually is to only have one villager build the storehouse. The rest of them want to jump onto the wood, and that's going to be increasing your wood income by quite a bit there. The villagers increasing the storehouse is not very good for every single one you put on. There's the Valkyrie immediately getting bolted here as the villagers turning around, going to be taking on the Herser. The Olsarks coming in as we are going to now start seeing the villagers simply shanking each other. And the Olsarks have to retreat away. Generally speaking, sticking onto this food is very, very difficult at the start of the game. So you are going to be seeing the Jason going to be getting taken down. Skady probably going to micro this Olsark away with just enough time there. 1 HP remaining. Going to be seeing the villagers pulled off the food yet again, as now we're starting to see raiding cavalry coming in here to start harassing these villagers even more. The Hersa coming in. We do have the Odysseus in here as well. Skady's micro thus far being very, very good, keeping all of his units alive, but he has taken a decent amount of HP. And yes, he is Odin, so this HP will come back against this Olsark. Skraeling, he's already back up to 6 HP. So over time, that will become useful in this game. We're not going to start seeing those Hersa pushing in the early game. Hersa so vitally important to the success of the Odin player at the start of the game. And the only real way to compete with this is to be going up sub 4 minutes, basically, so you can start production of your hoplites straight away. And you can see that the difference here on resources spent is everything. Skady still has a lot of resources to spend. In fact, he could be up at something like a 55 population here if he was spending those resources a bit better. But Tektonas has got himself 400 food in the bank, which he could have spent already and definitely been up at 55, 60 population already if he advanced faster. But obviously with his starting hunt going for those water buffalo, slowed him down quite a bit. And we'll see how the game's going to continue here. Tektonas is going to be looking for some more pressure. He does already have his wall set up, so he's not anywhere close to losing, but he does need to be very hyper aware that he's at a population deficit right now, as Skady's got all of the initiative. He does have restoration. There is no forest fire here for Skady to cast. So up 1 god power, and it is a strong god power. So we'll see if it's going to be used for with any success here. As now Tektonas moving around the map, going to be looking to maybe get some fighting happening here. Again, I think maybe just holding off on this one is the way to go. We do see the Minotaur moving in here. Does headbutt one of those raiding cavalry away, but raiding cavalry ends up living, and the Minotaur does get picked off here as Tektonas has to turn around. He could actually have 2 Minotaurs out instead of the 1. If you just got a little bit more favor. The second Minotaur is actually really, really strong here against the Odin. Pegasus Rush's worst nightmare. Tektonas, better than Pegasus Rush, confirmed. Did not lose a villager to the crocodile. Okay, memes aside. There's not a lot of damage here that Skady can actually do to Tektonas. So at this point, you have to ask yourself always the question, why am I building units here? And I guess the answer for Skady right now is going to be, I'm scared that he's going to be able to push out and kill my central base. But I think that the real thing is that this central base isn't that important here. If Skady had built his houses at home, the Longhouse Temple, not that important. You can actually sack that, go to the Heroic Age, and be in a fantastic position here. But we're now starting to see Skady continue the pressure pushing in. We do have Tektonas 74 population to Skady's 96 population. So again, big advantage for Skady. He also has all of these Hersa, which are incredibly strong in this matchup until Hippaspis come in. Basically, we see 1 hoplite managing to snipe a raiding cavalry there, but the Toxotes and the hoplite will be going down very, very quickly. So nice snipes there for Skady. Tektonas losing some units. Actually managed to make that hoplite survive there. Well played. The wall going to be rebuilt as the raiding cavalry going to try and sneak their way through here. Bash down the wall. There are already the Toxotes in here. The wall actually goes up so quickly. Nice micro from Skady, but Tektonas manages to snipe another raiding cavalry. 104 population to Tektonas' 85 population, as we're seeing archery range getting thrown down. And Skady going to attempt to push through here. Imagine Forest Fire on this position now. He would have been able to completely open up the base of Tektonas, but using it early, we're seeing the attack now coming in. Restoration being forced here, as Tektonas does not want to take that fight too easily, as the raiding cavalry simply going to be now looking for some raids up on the top corner of the map of Military Academy, trying to get thrown down, but not going to actually end up being built. Gets deleted instantly as the villagers running straight into the corner. The hoplites trying to make their way over here. Skady should be able to snipe one villager before retreating away from here without losing too many raiding cavalry. It's going to take a bit of HP beating, but should be fine. More fighting happening on this position. We see the hoplites getting pulled back. Very nice. Keeping them away from the throwing axemen if you can. The micro against the throwing axemen is actually really, really important. You definitely want to be focused firing your Toxotes if you can. Thank you so much for the 3 months. Get over it, dude. Appreciate you, man. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you coming back. And the raiding cavalry still looking around, doing all the stuff. Good for some raids. Probably not going to find too much. The unit's just going to chase them around. Definitely get this wall back up. Continue to play defensively at this point. It's kind of the only way for Tektonas to play. Now, the question really is going to be, what can Skady do now? Skady is on a second gold mine. He's got all the food in the world. He's got the map control. He can go for this town center if he wants, but why go for the town center when you can go heroic age? Maybe you could go... No, you go for the heroic age because it means you get an entire army kill and you just say GG. For some reason, Skady's got 10 villagers on wood. I mean, maybe it's because of all the throwing axemen he wants to build, but 10 villagers on wood means his food situation is very, very low. He's just finished up the gazelle over on this side. He's actually left these hippopotamus over here to not be eaten, moving towards the middle of the map, maybe looking for the rhinos, looking for the hippo over here. These villagers on the gold could be elsewhere. We are seeing the town center going up now for Skady. So Tektonas is going to be using this time very, very nicely to do whatever he really wants to. He can try and grab this town center if he wants, try and get to the next age if he wants, and see what he can do. We see the raiding cavalry now getting pushed back, getting dealt with, not getting any more villager kills. Nice defense thus far from Tektonas. And now the army pushing out here for Tektonas. He needs to basically sit back. There's not a whole lot he can do. Just accept that Skady is going to be going up with all these extra units, extra villagers. See the armory now coming down for Skady as he's going to decide to try and get to the next stage. One thing that Skady could do is once he gets 500 gold here, just take all of these villagers off of gold onto these hippopotamus and just rush up to the next age. We are still seeing Tektonas sniping more and more units. Very, very nice. Skady does like to get docks down on this shoreline very often to get some raids going on. Would like to see the dock maybe a little bit further up, a little bit more secret here. Maybe Tektonas won't spot it though. It looks like he hasn't spotted it. So a longboat here will be able to ferry some units across, transport ship or whatever you feel like. We are seeing a villager randomly over here trying to eat the zebra, but going to be sniped off, or the throwing axeman is going to be sniped off as Tektonas and Skady looking to get up to the next age as Tektonas gets to go there first. He is going through Apollo, which is definitely the correct play here. You're playing from behind in a way. You're playing defensive. He's not actually behind just yet. He's gotten access to Underworld, so he can hit this location or he can hit this location, essentially whichever one he wants, and get a whole bunch of dwarf kills here, which will be the best way forward for him. We'll see if that's what he's going to do. He doesn't know where both of them are, so we'll see how that's going to go. Skady going to be going up through, obviously, Skady here. I don't see Nord ever working in this matchup, just simply because you need the Frost Giants for potentially Heliopoli or anything else like that. And Skady does have 44 favor in the bank, so he will be able to build some Frost Giants as well. Doesn't have that much food. Need the food to make stuff. Next age, mythic age, I guess. Not basically don't want to make mountain giants. So very smart to go for that. We are seeing a Ford Temple getting built as well as the transport ship is here, but surprise over, not able to do anything here. We're going to be seeing these transport. She's going to be retreating up to the top. Run away! You see the temple getting rebuilt. Apollo going to come in. The Pegasus coming through. Chuck that Underworld down, but it looks like Skady's already retreating for some reason. If you chuck the Underworld down right here, go very quickly. He does chuck that one in. The village is going to be retreating away from the top here. So he's going to get a couple of villager kills, but nice play from Skady to get away from this as fast as possible. We might be seeing the Underworld. Where is Skady's army at this point? He's got a couple of units here, a couple of units here. He does have the units coming in and out of the transport ship now, putting pressure on. More units chasing these villagers down. They can make their way over into the middle gold mine here if they so choose. Wouldn't be a bad idea. And this is going to be a lot of economic damage that Tektonas is actually going to be able to do here. And also, Tektonas has got an incredibly safe gold mine in the back here that he can grab. And this gold mine here is fairly safe with the wall set up. So very, very nice here, as we are going to be seeing a couple of units coming over onto this location. Tektonas is going to be smartly spreading out his army as best as he can to delay Frost as long as he can, because you're not going to want to cast Frost on this anytime soon. And we can actually see Tektonas is already going Mythic Age. 2 Town Center, going Mythic Age, going through Hephaestus. Nothing too crazy, no Hera. Because it's going to be a little bit... I think you don't want to go Hera here for the most part. We do see the raid hitting these villages yet again here. Units retreating back. But if you go Hera, you get access to the Medusa, and you can go Medusa Heliopoli to push through. The Medusa will be able to snipe the Frost Giants down, and then the Heliopoli do the rest of the damage. So it can work in this situation. We're going to see the Hoplites retreating back through the Underworld Passage. I imagine this guy is going to be able to clean that one up fairly quickly now. But... we see heavy infantry coming through as well for Tektonas. But we're going to have plenty of volt, which is going to increase the population a little bit for Tektonas. Tektonas can also think about getting himself fortified town centers here. We see an extra armory, so it looks like he's going for armory upgrades. So there's going to be a bit of an armory timing that he can do as this Underworld Passage is going to be going down. It's not the biggest of deals losing that. I think he's already done the damage that he wanted to do with that Underworld, just slowing down Skady a little bit, making sure no early tier comes through. Though at this point, it might be best for Skady to go Ragnarok. He didn't lose too many villages. He's got the 3 town centers producing villages, so he should have a big Ragnarok to come for himself. But we'll see how that's going to go. Hephaestus does pop now for Tektonas. He's going to be just pulling back. Don't want to push in. I don't see a fortress just yet for Tektonas, so forgetting that one just a little bit, but I think it doesn't matter all too much just yet. He's getting Forge of Olympus first. So he's not going for, obviously because he's Hephaestus, you can't really afford to go straight Heliopoli with Hephaestus because they get picked off a little bit too easy without the backup from Medusa. So you have to be aware of the Frost Giants. So smart to get that upgrade first. In Forge of Olympus, and then continue pushing forward. Huge advantage right now for Tektonas in the score, but Skady does have the advantage here. He's got the Frost. That's going to be able to clean up a lot of the units here. We're going to be able to see a wall get thrown up here as well to block the retreat off, and we'll see if Skady can deal with this army at this point. Are we seeing the Mythic Age? No, we are not. We still do not have heavy infantry, but there it comes through just now, so that's going to be a very big help as the wall will get put up. It does get built very, very slowly here. We're seeing Paspus coming through now to break this one off. And I would love to see maybe more of an effort to block this in as we see more units coming in. Tektonas, one of those Paspus going to come through, harass the Huskal here and take that one down. More buildings around this could be really good. Make sure you position the Frost Giant and those Huskal onto the Toxotes, otherwise they get a lot of damage done. We are seeing the temple coming up now for Skady. And what Tektonas is going to want to try now is basically pure Paspus. As his army upgrades will start coming through. He's got himself Forge of Olympus. We do see the Colossus, 30 HP remaining, and is going to be falling. The army of Tektonas is going to be retreating away. We'll be able to break down this wall fairly quickly with his infantry, but he's going to turn around and take this fight just a little bit. The throwing axemen going to be doing a lot of damage here. We do not see Huntress Axe for these throwing axemen, which makes them very, very strong. Meanwhile, the Manticore not getting targeted down, but will end up falling there. Allowing it to do a lot of damage in that situation as the army retreats back. And do we have that fortress up just yet for Tektonas? Not just yet. He does have his Bellerophon out. Now, most of the time, I think that Bellerophon's best duty here, or the best idea with the Bellerophon, is to actually raid your opponent's villages with this unit. Because you run in, the 15-second recharge time is essentially a one-hit onto a villager, and it can be very, very hard for your opponent to pick off a Bellerophon without cavalry. So if your opponent's full infantry, the Bellerophon is so good. He does manage to snipe one of those Frost Giants there with his Bellerophon, but you can definitely get some incredibly good raids going with the Bellerophon. And that's not what we're seeing here. Tektonas is going to be using it in the main army, which is a lot easier to deal with, obviously. You can just turn around and fight it. At least with the Huskal and the Ulfsark. With the 6.0 speed, the Bellerophon can naturally dodge those axes from the throwing axemen. And now Skady, he is going up and he is choosing Tyr here. An interesting pick. I think Tyr is going to be strong if he hits on both of these town centers. He gets all the food of Skady, sorry, of Tektonas, but we'll see if it actually does enough damage to him, because a lot of the food, a lot of the resources are actually not close to the town centers, mostly all up on here, and maybe even over over here. Where's all these woodcutters? I don't know. Anyways, the house is getting taken down over here as the pacifist army of Tektonas going to be leading Skady away. And if we check out Skady's economy here, he's gotten plow, no winter harvest. The farms haven't really been set up. He is still eating food though, or eating hunt at this point. So he's still got that advantage going for him. But no farms means once he runs out of that hunt, there is a whole bunch over here, but once he runs out of that hunt, he's going to be in a really rough position. We are seeing the Hypaspis going for this raid over here now. Unfortunately, Hypaspis, even though they are Zeus Hypaspis, they're only going to be doing about 15 damage per second onto these town centers. And then with the town centers 44% hack armor, it becomes more like 7.5 damage, a little bit more than 7.5 damage. So they're not as good as the hoplites at all with dealing with buildings, and we are going to be seeing the town center attempting to get taken out. There are no upgrades, building upgrades, but there is fortified town centers coming through now for Tektonas for Skady to defend this one here. So we are seeing the Toxotes able to deal with most of these drawing axe from here. There are a couple of raiding cavalry coming in, but Skady's army is kind of in a mismatched positions right now. He's at 131 or 160 population, and let's see how that Fimbulwinter is actually going. And look at this. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. I've said this a million times. Whenever you expect your opponents going to the Mythic Age, bring your heroes back. The heroes deal with all of these wolves. Obviously, you can't deal with both of these. Maybe if you sent one hero over onto this town center. And then you can completely neuter Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter becomes completely useless here. And it's basically done... Well, how much damage? 11 farms worth of damage for a Mythic Age God Power for 30 seconds. Tektonas played that incredibly well. Skady gets nothing basically out of that. And now Skady can push forward with those Heliopoli and get so much damage done. Now, naturally, the easier way to play that is if you have Ceasefire and you see your opponent hit tier, click Ceasefire and then bring your heroes back home. And that way... you can preemptively defend against that. We are seeing Skady now getting pressured here as the Heliopoli coming through, doing a ton of damage. Champion Toxotes, champion infantry is in right now for Tektonas as his army is incredibly strong. He's probably already got iron upgrades, iron weapons, no iron mail or shields, but bronze is still very, very good considering Skady's got nothing just yet. So the Greek army is simply just not dying here. The Heliopoli is basically still alive. He's only lost one here, and this town center will be going down. Skady does not have masons, so he's got no... well, he could be researching it, but it's not going to come through in time, it seems, as the fortified town center does fall, and the army of Tektonas is so strong. Skady, 115 population here. Tektonas coming through with an incredibly strong push, incredibly strong timing, and Skady is on the back foot right now. The heal fort will be falling very, very soon. We are seeing Tektonas maybe overstepping just a little bit, but he can continue to push here, taking out the hill fort, taking this position, taking this town center, going 3 town centers apiece with Hephaestus, with fully upgraded units. Tektonas is in a fantastic position here. What can Skady really do? Wait out this gold mine, try and get a gold staff is one option. So definitely walling this off. He's got the hill fort over here and trying to get that. He needs to get his armory upgrades out as fast as he possibly can. The hill fort is falling. The house is going down as well. As Tektonas has got massive control here. All the buildings of Skady are in the middle of the map as well. We are going to be seeing a hill fort getting thrown up in the back here as more houses are coming through. But the town center now coming up for Tektonas as he's got every advantage in the world. Lots of resources in the bank. How are the economic upgrades looking for him? He's got nearly every economic upgrade as well. So very nice play. And the only thing missing right now is a trade route, which he's throwing down here. I mean, there's a very short distance here that could be increasing the gold gather rate of said donkey caravans. But I guess if you watch Matrius enough, you watch Matrius and you just want to be Matrius. Why not? As the Toxotes continuing to push through, Skady with very little income in the bank has just finished up that gold mine. He does have 2 gold mines over here and over here, so we'll see where those dwarves are going to be going. We see a dragon ship coming through now for Skady to try and take this town center down, but he does need to get himself enable auxiliaries. Is he getting that? Oh, he doesn't have a dock anywhere else. He doesn't have the resources for enable auxiliaries. We are seeing a dock getting thrown down by Tektonas straight away. The correct response whenever anyone is building dragon ships on your shore is to throw a fortress up. They can't kill the fortress fast enough while it's being built. And then once it's up, you repair it and get a Heliopolis out. And you can easily defend any sort of river shenanigans there. So if you get confused or get a little bit upset about the naval ships, just remind yourself you can defend it very easily if you miss it. But Skady ends up tapping out there as the army is simply put just too strong here for Tektonas. The late game of Greek, I actually don't think that the Zeus late game is like that much better than Odin's late game, but Tektonas hit his late game spike so much earlier than Skady's, and just completely steamrolled here. The tier did next to nothing. It is an issue of 2 town centers versus 3 town centers. If there's 3 town centers, you get 3 wolf packs potentially hitting economy. In this map, on this matchup, there's only 2 town centers to get hit with the wolf packs. So he only really had to deal with one of those wolf packs in the end and only taken a very small hit to the economy from that Mythic Age God Power. I think it would have been super interesting to see Skady go for like a more economic focused Mythic Age through Balder and maybe not go for a kill here, but just set up and make sure he's all good. Make sure he's got a market up here with a good trade route going. He actually has a decent trade route. So just secure the four town centers and just kind of hold this position with those units and see how you go. Rebuilding that economy is sometimes a way to go here with the Odin or with the Norse, which I don't see done very often, but still very, very strong. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.